So those things, when you see the person behind the phone, I truly see that it matters.
Every staffing company says it vets thoroughly and has the top 1% of talent. It's the easiest sentence in the industry to write and the hardest one to prove. So rather than tell you, we asked Julia if we could show you. What follows is a real screening, not a reenactment, not something staged afterward. One question, her actual answer, and then exactly what we were listening for. If you're a client, this is our standard. If you're a candidate, this is what we're really looking for. And we'd rather you know than guess. Every candidate records a video screening before anyone sits down for a live conversation. People assume that's about saving time. It isn't. A resume tells you what someone has done. It tells you nothing about how they think or what they do when something goes wrong. The video is the first place we see a whole person instead of a document. It works both ways. A candidate in Florianopolis doesn't need a referral to reach us. She needs a quiet room and something real to say. You can rehearse an answer about your process. You can't rehearse this one because either you've been in the room when a client was unhappy with you or you haven't.
Well, we received a lead. I converted into a sale, but his first experience wasn't so good. It's a cleaning company, so he wasn't satisfied with the cleaning service. I called him a few, like 2 days after the cleaning, and to check what happened. He's described it, what made him feel so unhappy. So I agreed to give him a partial refund because it was definitely not our pattern, our service. I agreed with him. But so he agreed, he felt very happy. And a few days after that, I called him again and I was like, hey, Philip, I know that you wasn't very satisfied with our first cleaning service provided. And this is definitely not the kind of pattern that we provide for our customers. So I would love to have the chance to give you a second great impression of our service. And I started talking to him, organized his priorities. I gave him a great price for another cleaning, aligned all the expectations, and I felt very happy because by the end of the call, he agreed. He accepted another cleaning service to know us, and he complimented my service. He said that I was very kind and attention. So he loved my energy and the way that I approach him. He said most of people just ignore, and that's okay, but you are trying to do something good for me. I can see that. So I felt very happy. And another thing that happened was I had this lead and I called her many times. We spent like 2 weeks just following up, talking to her, checking what she needed. And then she finally got a cleaning with us. And she said, Julia, I truly appreciate you because I've been talking to so many people and they just see you as a number and you saw the person behind me, behind the phone. And I see that you, of course, you want to make the sale, but I see that you truly worry about me. And it happened because I used to take some notes like she was sick. So I took a note, and next time that I called her, it was like, hey, are you feeling better? Do you need something from us? I know that sometimes you can clean by yourself. And I started to take a little bit personal in the right way. So those things, when you see the person behind the phone, I truly see that it matters. So I've been getting many great results doing that. And this is something that I definitely want to keep.
Three things, and none of them are about the refund. The partial refund was the easy part. Most people stop there because the refund closes the complaint and the file goes quiet. Julia called him again days later. In her words, I would love to have the chance to give you a second great impression. That call had no obligation attached to it and every chance of going badly. She made it anyway, realigned his expectations, and he booked a second cleaning. A refund ends a problem. A second call rebuilds the relationship. Those are different instincts, and only one of them can be trained. The second story is the one that decided this for us. A lead she chased for 2 weeks had mentioned she was unwell, so Julia made a note. The next call opened with, "Are you feeling better?" That's not warmth, that's a system. Warmth is what you feel in the moment. A note in a file is what makes you reliable 3 weeks later when the moment has passed and you'd otherwise have forgotten. She knows exactly what the client said. Ask most candidates how a story ended and you may get a summary. People remember exact words when the outcome mattered to them. That's someone measuring herself by what the client experienced, not by what she got through. And then the line that made this into our first episode. One of her customers told her, "You saw the person behind the phone." That's the whole job. We were listening for someone who does that instinctively, and she told us about it without being asked. One more thing, for anyone about to record one of these. Julia did 4 things that had nothing to do with her experience, and every one of them mattered. She sat in a bright room, she wore a headset, she looked at the camera, and she told us who she is, not only what she's done. None of that costs money. It costs enough to set the room up before you hit record. We notice, not because anyone's grading your lighting, but because someone who prepares for a 3-minute video is telling us how she'll prepare for a client call. And one thing she didn't do, wait until her English was perfect. Julia's second language has a few rough edges in this recording, but we didn't care and neither did her customers, because what she was saying was clear and what she meant was unmistakable. We hire for judgment. Fluency follows. Thank you so much to Julia for sharing this with us. We see the whole person before we see the resume. This is what it actually looks like.